Hi, welcome to Sweethearts Bakery. We are coming back to you again to show you some more cake decorating tips and ideas, things that you can do at home. If you don't have time to come in, you can enjoy the same kind of treats at home. So I'm going to show you a couple quick decorating tips today on how to stack a layered cake and make it look like it's professional, and it'll stay together nicely and look nice as well. So my location is right downtown Avon, right off of the Circle. So if you want to come in and check out what we have our baked goods and our different classes and things like that, please do that. This is a red velvet cake. A lot of people really like red velvet cake. It has a little bit of chocolate in it, so if you don't like a lot of chocolate but you still want something different from vanilla, red velvet's a nice option. Traditionally it's served with a cream cheese frosting, but because we do a lot of different decorating techniques, you can also just use a regular, any kind of a buttercream frosting or fondant on that. But we're going to use the cream cheese frosting today. It's a little bit softer, and then especially in the summer weather, you want to make sure that you keep it refrigerated because it will melt and dissolve pretty quickly. So we're going to decorate this and then stick it right in the fridge and enjoy it later on. So what I did first, most cakes when you bake them, they're going to have a crown on them. So that means it just kind of comes out a little bit puffier on top. So take a long serrated knife, any kind of a long bread knife, and just slice the crumb or the crown off the top. And then you can either throw this away or give it to the kids. Either way, find something to do with those. It's kind of nice if you crumble it up and mix it with some frosting or ice cream too. So we're just going to set that aside. We also use that to make our cake pops too, so it kind of, nothing goes to waste here when we're doing our cakes. So cut that off, and then I'm going to stack it this way. So we're going to have a long rectangle kind of loaf shape. You can do, it's the same technique if you're doing a round cake, or if you wanted to do a square cake and stack the rectangle the other way. But for this one, I like having a rectangle long kind of loaf cake. So what I'm going to do first, we're going to do a raspberry filling with this because, like I said, there's a little bit of chocolate in it, so it goes really nice with the raspberry. And because the raspberry or any kind of a fruit filling will soak into your cake, I just do a little really, really light layer of frosting in between the layers. And that's going to keep it from just kind of dissolving into the cake. You'll still get the difference in the layers. And then this is a really good tip. This is something, again, that you just really is going to help it make it look that professional. You want to take some of your icing in a piping bag or a Ziploc bag and just make a dam around the outside of the layer. So we're just making a kind of a little ledge so the frosting doesn't seep out or the filling doesn't seep out. And you want to use a real thick frosting for this, a little bit thicker than the rest of it that we're going to decorate it with. So you can see there's just kind of a little bit of a, well in there. So that you can, I'm sure this happens on Food Network all the time, but they edit it out. So there's just the well there. And then you can, we'll fill that up after we repipe it. So.
Everything can be fixed.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
Look
Magic.
at that. You won't even know.
Right?
The magic of live television. So anyway, so we have our well there, and then we have our raspberry filling. You can do raspberry, strawberry, chocolate, any kind of a pudding. I like mixing pudding with sour cream and for half of the milk, replacing half the milk with sour cream because that will kind of give it a nice thicker texture. So we're just going to put our raspberry filling in between here. And we're going to take our other layer and put it right on top like this. So it kind of ends up, let's try this one again here, as flat as possible. Okay, and you can see that the piping is coming out a little bit. We're just going to kind of clean up the edges. And you can tell that we're open at the moment. We've got some customers, so hopefully you can hear what we're talking about back here. Now at this point, what I would do, it is a little bit frozen. What I would do is put it back in the freezer for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and that'll keep the crumbs from, from getting into your frosting. but just for the sake of just I was showing today, we're just going to go ahead and put our frosting on top. So this is a little bit of a thinner frosting. I added a little bit of an extra milk to our frosting. It's a cream cheese frosting. And for the cream cheese frosting, if I'm using it for decorating, I like to add cream cheese, butter, and then a little bit of replace some of the confectionery or the cream cheese with Crisco, and that makes it just a little bit thicker. This is our offset spatula. We have two different sizes depending on the surface area that we want. And really, this is the perfect cake decorating tool, is the offset spatula like this. I've mentioned before, I get a lot of my equipment up in any of the craft supply companies up in Henrietta. Also, Innovative Restaurant Supply has any cake decorating supply you would want. So when I use the decorating bag before, I have a large tip on the end of that, and that's really good for cupcakes and that sort of thing as well. So we're just going to do kind of a quick, I'm not going to worry about it being perfectly smooth because we have a quick little decoration we're going to put on top, but it doesn't have to be as smooth as, for instance, a cake that I'd be putting roses or something on. So we'll just kind of cover the edges, make it look a little bit like Grandma would make it. But this is also a good frosting for carrot cake too. So, and you can see I'm kind of smoothing the edges this way at this degree of an angle, and then at this degree of an angle. So I'm trying not to I'm trying to keep the edges square. And then if you wanted to just kind of get it a little bit nicer finish, what you would do is take one of the spreaders in really, really hot boiling water and just kind of go over top of it with the boiling water. And then we're just going to do an edge here. I'm going to cut the end off, so I'm not going to worry too much about the end being decorated. But just real quick, doing a little piping around the edge kind of makes it look nice. And again, you can go online, you can find all sorts of decorating videos on YouTube and that sort of thing. You can come in this summer. We've got some classes for kids and adults this summer, and we'll kind of give you some practice time on doing cake decorating. And then this is kind of a nice little technique. There's two different things that we can do with chocolate. I'm going to add some white chocolate to this. This is just softened a little bit past room temperature, and we're just going to use a vegetable peeler to go along the edge of our block of white chocolate, and it gives us these nice little curls. And then another thing you could do is just take a cheese grater and grate, and that's going to give it a little bit finer. So it just depends on what kind of a texture you want. So I'm going to hold this up, hopefully, and show you kind of what our top looks like. Again, it's just a quick, doesn't have to be anything really fancy. We're going to cut the ends off, and then it's going to look, and then cut it into little slices for serving. And that's how you stack a cake. So this one we're going to be using, we're starting some evening hours at the bakery. Thursday evening from 6 to 9 is what we're calling a dessert happy hour. So you can come in, you can have a piece of red velvet cake. We're going to do carrot cake this week. We're going to be trying different dessert sundaes and things throughout the year, throughout the summer. We're going to be having some acoustic guitars and different special things, pajama night for the kids one night. So a lot of fun, different things going on Thursday evenings. And then Friday, we're open now from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. as well. So you can come in after work, after a game. Give us a call to find out their hours, 226-9161. You can also go to our website, Sweet Arts New York, sweetartsny.com, or our Facebook page, Sweet Arts Bakery, to find our new hours, as well as see a lot of the different cakes that we do, and find out what classes are posted. So thanks so much. Josh, I'll have to have you enjoy a piece of cake here.
I can't wait.
All right. And feel free to send in questions and ideas of things that you'd like to see.